Hey guys, it's Central Cop 321 here. Tonight's video is going to cover a few different subjects here. First one's going to be how different geographical locations can affect law enforcement. Like I told you before, I worked quite a few years up in Ohio, in the northern part of the United States. Not quite as far north as like Montana or anything, but everyone knows where Ohio is. It's north of Florida. So, law enforcement in Ohio, you get the weather that really affects it. You get the four seasons. You get winter, summer, spring, and autumn. Down here in Florida, you get spring and summer. So, when you're working up north, you gotta figure out whether or not you're gonna be okay working outdoors in that cold, frigid coldness, cold air that really gets down in your lungs and can basically feel like you're getting stabbed from the inside out. If you can handle that up in Ohio or anywhere up north, good on you. I did it for several years. Don't like it. That's why I moved. Job market too. Also, they're hiring, but they're not. So they're really just looking for people who know people. Really, is the best way to say it. But getting back to my main point with that, it's warm down here in Florida, and it's just springtime. It's in the 80s during the day. So when it gets towards the summertime frame, it's going to get up towards the 100s, 110s, and you got to factor that in too. If you want to work somewhere where it's warm, can you handle the extreme heats? So I guess I kind of went from one extreme to another. I didn't really settle in the middle, but you got to also think about the different types of people that are located within those geographical areas too. Down here in Florida, you got to deal with a lot of Hispanic communities, a lot of Latinos. You get you get Haitians, you get people from Mexico, you get people from Puerto Rico, you get Dominican Republic, Cuba's starting to come over. So you get all those, but then you also get the African American communities that are strong down in the South. You get the retirement community that's down here. You get a whole big bunch of different cultural groups that you got to figure out how you can handle each different one differently. You can't have just one mindset when you go into a call. You got to be ready for the unexpected. Whereas when you're going from the north has a very unique set of difficulties itself, but you don't have as diverse of a cultural background as you do down in the South. Moving on, another difficulty is the size of the department. When you're looking for a department, you got to look for the size of the department you want to work for. Do you want to work for a small agency? Do you want to work for a large agency? Or even a medium-sized one? If your main goal is to one day become chief of police, maybe the small department's not really the way to go, unless you happen to know most of the upper echelon people, and the city mayor, and those in the city council. But if you're really just moving to the new area like I am, you're going to want to go to a larger department. I didn't really go for that. I went for the first one that gave me a job. It got me down here. That the best move? Only time will tell. But I would love to either be a chief of police or the sheriff of a county. That would be a great goal. But it's going to take some time to get there. My department, I would consider it more of like a small to medium department. And growth potential, one of my FTOs, my first phase FTO, went out for SWAT. He tried, didn't make it. He understands why he didn't make it. They had one spot to fill. I would love to go canine. Problem with that is canine handlers, they can go 10, 15, 20 years in that spot and never give it up. And they've only got about 6 spots for canines. So I'd be waiting 10, 15, 20 years, possibly, just to get a spot in canine to finish out for 5 years. Is that really worth it? I don't know. But I'm going to try. Once I'm released from FTO, I'm going to try my darndest to start co-training with them so that if a spot randomly opens up, I can be better prepared to navigate the waters in order to get that job. When you look at a larger department like, say, Orange County Sheriff's Office or the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, those larger agencies that employ thousands of officers or deputies, those ones are going to have the best growth potential because they're always looking for higher growth when you look at promotion. Or even laterally training into, say, a detective's position or a canine or SWAT or something of that nature, you're going to have a very, very good chance of getting in or a very, very good chance of being promoted if you're in a larger agency because they're going to have much larger vacancies, many more vacancies than a smaller department will. Now, moving into my last point is fitness to get the job versus fitness on the job. A lot of people, myself included, fell into a realm of, well, let me just get in a good physical shape to get the job, and I'll worry about it later. And you work out for a few months, or you find a department like mine that didn't require a PT test to get the job. Well, then you might fall into that mindset of, well, I don't need to now. Why would I need to? If I didn't need to take a PT test to get the job, why am I going to need to keep my physical fitness up while I'm on the job? Problem is you're going to fall like I am into this rut where you don't go to the gym at all. I'm looking currently for a gym that I can go to locally because I drive about 45 minutes to work. I like that. I like being able to when I leave work, I'm nowhere near my job. Not saying that I'm not going to run into the people I deal with on a day-to-day basis where I live, but there's a smaller chance of running into them. Problem is I'm not giving myself that much time to work out because it's a 45-minute drive each way, and I work a 12-hour shift. So if I'm going to work out, I need to do it on my days off. And that's not so bad of a thought. I just got to get my butt in gear and do it. But the bigger part, important part to this is fitness on the job. You need it. One, you don't want to be that one cop that gets outran by a marginally large kid or adult just because you're in poor health and poor fitness. You don't want to be that cop that has to chase somebody down via their squad car because they couldn't keep up with them on the run, and this guy's running maybe 5 miles an hour. You also don't want to be getting into a wrestling match with someone, especially some young punk, who's wrestling you because he knows you're out of shape. That puts your life at risk. That puts other fellow officers at risk. Poor health in general is going to put everybody at risk because if you're driving down the road and you're in poor health condition and you suffer a heart attack and wreck your squad car, well, now you've created an incident where your fellow officers and other emergency services have to rush to your aid and possibly somebody else's aid because your squad car struck another vehicle or struck a pedestrian or struck a bicyclist or a motorcyclist. The list can go on. But if you're in poor health, you're risking so much more. Your life, other people's lives. More cops die from health issues than they die from car accidents or shot by somebody or stabbed by somebody. The statistics are out there. I subscribe to a memorial page, and it's an Amsterdam page, and it shows you the statistics of how many this year officers have died. And let me just open it up real quick, and I'll run through some of their stats. Okay, so the category of other encompasses the health issue ones. That's 50% of officers that have died this year have died from other than auto-related or gunfire. 25% are gunfire-related, and it says, I take that back. it's saying out of the 473 officers that have died this year, or from 2014 to 2017. My apologies. I'm reading this as we go. And this is for the entire country. From the years 2014 to 2017, out of the 473 officers that have died, 164 were from gunfire. That's a lot, but it's not as much as the auto-related, which could have been a health issue that caused that auto-related to begin with. Which is 171 auto-related deaths of officers, and then there's 138 all others. All others is health-related. It's other things as well, but health-related is a major part of that. So, if you're looking to become a cop, or even if you are a police officer, think very, very hard about your health. One, you're going to do yourself, your family, and your department a favor, but you're also going to do the citizens that you're serving, and you swore an oath to protect and serve them. How can you do that if you can't even serve your own body by keeping it healthy? That's just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And definitely hit that like if you liked it, or that dislike. But if you dislike it, the only thing I ask, please tell me what you disliked about this down in the comments. Alright, talk to you later, guys.